Hello everybody and welcome! So Ubisoft have just recently released their designer notes for Year 3 Season 4.2 in Rainbow Six Siege. Now there is no official date as of yet as to when this Year 3 Season 4.2 patch will be put into the live version of the game, but as soon as they do I'll be sure to let you guys know, and if you don't already follow me on Twitter I will leave a link in the description down below. It's at @ThisIsThat'sRich. These designer notes will give us an insight into the team that actually balances operators around the middle of each season. These will come after they've reviewed the data and feedback for the new operators and changes made within the last season. They utilise the data and player feedback to make decisions on adjustments. And with these designer notes, we're going to be looking at some of the data they've been looking at for various operators. So first of all, we're going to take a look at two charts here. And what these are the win rate delta per operator versus pick rate. Now bear in mind that these graphs are not across the entire board, including ranked and casual. These are strictly just for ranked, PC, platinum and diamond through Year 3 patch 4.0. So like I say, these don't take into consideration any of the casual picks or anybody below platinum and diamond. So first of all, let's take a look at the attackers. If you're unfamiliar with these graphs, the left hand side column is the win delta. This is basically how often that operator is on the winning team. Across the bottom, you've got the pick rate, so it's how often that operator is picked. So to give you an example, let's take a look at Thermite. You can see he's picked 40% of the time, but 0.00% of the time he's on the winning team. So basically, in Ubisoft's eyes, for the perfect operator, they need to be right slap bang in the middle of that cross there. Anything in and around that, I guess, would be considered a okay operator. But as you can see from this graph, there are a lot of operators dotted outside there. First of all, let's take a look at Finker. So Finker is on the winning team 2.5% of the time, but Finker is only getting picked round about 8% of the time. So what they would be looking at there is, why is Finker on so many winning games but yet nobody's picking her? That's the kind of data they're going to be looking at. Then on the other scale, we take a look at Ash. So Ash is picked 70% of the time but is only in the winning team 1% of that. Now I know a lot of people will be saying, well surely Ash's win rate is a lot higher than that. Not according to these stats. Remember, these are in PC ranked only for platinum and diamond players. So what I would say they're looking at Ash there is that, okay, let's say her win delta is okay at around about 1%, but why are so many people picking her? If so many people are picking her, surely the win rate should be higher. So they're going to be looking at adjusting that in whatever way they will. Now if we take a look at the defenders, again it's the same table, so you've got your win delta on the left hand side and the amount of times that operator is picked along the bottom. So again, for the ideal operator, you're going to be looking right in the middle of that cross, in and around that area. But look at Rook, all the way up there at 3%. So he's on the winning team 3% of the time, but he's only picked around 22%, 21% of the time. I will say I do main Rook a lot of the time, and I'm not on the winning team 3% of the time of him, but I have also got to say that I never play ranked, and even if I did, the chances of me reaching diamond or platinum would be very, very slim. So those statistics are completely out the window for me when it comes to this graph. But you can see that when it comes to PC rank, he's on the winning team a lot of the time. Now if we have a look at the complete other end of the scale, down in the far bottom left hand corner there, with a win delta of minus 10.9% and a pick rate of like 0.01, I would expect, is Clash. And we all know why. Ever since she was nerfed, she basically become absolutely useless unless you had a teammate with you to back you up to mop up those kills. So basically, this is the kind of information that Ubisoft will be looking at when they're thinking about making operator changes. Like I say, they ideally want everybody in that little sweet spot right in the middle there, and they don't want these operators all the way up the top there or all the way down the bottom. So this is, like I say, how they justify balancing the operators. Now we've pretty much already covered the Year 3 Season 4.2 patch notes for the test server, but let's go through what they've got listed here. So the first operator listed here is Cav, and we already know that the damage is being decreased from 99 down to 65. The damage fall off adjustments to make it more consistent with other pistols. The magazine sizes were being reduced from 15 down to 12. Increased recoil, so it'll be more challenging to change shots at long range, and increased hipfire spread to reduce the viability of non-ADS spam fire. Now when this first came out in the TS, there was a really big talking point about about this and a lot of people weren't happy, but I think ultimately it's not as bad as what everybody first made out. They've gone on with a couple of paragraphs here to explain what they're trying to do with Cav, and they say, we're trying to make her less frustrating to play against and reduce her power level at low to medium levels, lowering the damage, the number of bullets that need to hit the chest of an enemy to put them in a DBNO state should be the same as before, but we reduced the penalty of being hit by one shot. Thanks to this, we can now normalise the fall-off curve to be more consistent with other pistols, which gives Cav increased range and versatility. With the changes to recoil and hip fire, we also want to reinforce the hunter aspect of the character, force her to approach silently to her prey and be precise to guarantee the kill. So that is basically why they felt it necessary to make these changes to Cav. Next up on the list is Cade, and although this isn't a major one for him, the ADS speed has been increased by 33%, and they say Cade was performing below their expectations. They wanted to take a deep look into the future to make him more attractive for the utility and creativity that he brings to a team. For now, they say, the ADS of the AUG-3 was too slow, closer to an assault rifle than an SMG, so they're saying that this change should help him to win more gunfights. While I do agree with that, I also think they should be chucking in that third electro claw. I know a lot of people saying, oh, well, if he's got 3, it's way too many, he can electrify too many barricades and whatnot, but I honestly do think that 3 would be a lot more better than the 2 that he does have. That's just my personal opinion. Rook and Doc are up next, and obviously this is the nerf to the MP5 and the maximum damage being reduced from 30 down to 27. Now obviously bearing in mind where Rook was on that win delta, this isn't too surprising, and Doc was quite far up there as well. High pick rate and not a bad win rate. And when you bear in mind that these two operators are usually anchoring with an ACOG, I'm not surprised that this damage has been reduced slightly. It's not a massive nerf, so let's see how it goes. Next up, let's take a look at all the changes they're going to be putting into Clash. So we know they're changing the fire mode on the SPS MG9 to fully auto, and in doing so removing the 2-shot burst. And it goes without saying that if they're changing it from a 2 burst to fully auto, they're going to have to do the recoil with that as well. So they are also adapting the recoil to fit fully auto fire mode. They're increasing the total ammunition from 121 up to 161, and the damage will also be increased, going up to 33 from 30. These are definitely some of the changes that Clash needed. I do think we will see her pick rate go up slightly more with these changes to her weapon. And again, they go on to say, we are not satisfied with the current state of Clash. No surprising. She's been underperforming, and the latest updates did not improve that situation. We believe that she is the operator that needs quality team support the most, which makes her too weak when there is no backup, especially when outnumbered, as I said earlier. By changing the fire mode of the SPS MG9 to full auto and increasing its damage, our goal is to help improve her performance when encountering those kinds of situations. At the same time, these changes come with a new recoil alignment that will bring the SPS MG9 behaviour closer to the rest of the machine pistols. So like I say, it'll be really interesting to see how her pick rate changes after this 4.2 patch. So lastly on these designer notes, we have 100% got confirmation that they are working on a Lion rework. We obviously all know the issues with Lion at the moment is global capabilities, so they say progress is being made on the Lion rework. We have tested and validated the design changes that we would like to implement and are in the process of tightening up the parameters as well as UI and audio feedback. We will have more information available to you during the 6th Invitational. So I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to be doing with Lion here. I don't know whether they're going to be removing the global capabilities and just leaving it to the operator itself. I really don't know, but we haven't got long to find out, because as we all know, the Rainbow Six Siege 6 Invitationals being held in Montreal are not that far away, and I'll be bringing you a video with all the latest news and updates around the 6 Invitationals, so if you're not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you do with notifications turned on to stay up to date. That is it for today, guys. I just wanted to share those designer notes with you, and it would be really interesting to hear your thoughts on these in the comment section down below. Thanks a lot for watching. I do as always appreciate your time, and until next time, goodbye.